Let freedom ring.
This is a non-violent protest. Even if we have to receive violence, we will not return violence.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
Live from the Empire Convention Center in Albany, New York, welcome to the 33rd Annual New York State Celebration of the Life and Dreams of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Here to present the invocation, Rabbi Rena Kaval, Congregation Ohav Shalom, Albany, New York, and Reverend Craig Robinson, First Israel AME Church in Albany, New York.
Good morning again. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. These words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. inspire us today as we honor his teachings with the theme, Together We Win, with love for humanity. And so we pray, Elohei Haruchot Lechol Basar, Holy One of all living beings, bless the inhabitants of our country, of our state, with your spirit. Send strength and wisdom to all who fight for the dignity and equality of all people, who treat every human being on this earth as created in your image. Every one of us with a spark of the divine, with the potential to shine. Holy One of justice, help us to speak out and to act against tyranny and oppression. If the Reverend King were here today, he would see that we have overcome many evils, but he would see also that we still have much to overcome. Help us build the promised land that he dreamed of, in which no one will be enslaved by poverty, no one will be subjected to prejudice, no one will be hurt by hatred. Help us build a land in which no children go hungry, no citizens live in fear of violence, and no families or individuals feel unwanted or unsafe. Help us create a land of freedom, of opportunity, of possibility for all people. Let this day inspire each of us with the courage and the passion to follow Dr. King's teaching. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Holy One of Peace, Adon HaShalom, spread over us and over all of humanity your shelter of peace, of safety and tranquility, of well-being, of shalom. And let us all say, Amen.
Again, let us pray. Holy God, we gather to remember the life and legacy of Martin Luther King, Jr. Remember a man whose commitment to human flourishing compelled him to offer his entire self, his intellect, his body, and his soul to the causes of freedom and beloved community. We remember his struggle against systemic racism, which is a stubborn stain on the very fabric of the American idea. Through his masterful oratory, Keen Mind and King Mind, Dr. King reminded the nation that Black lives matter and that it is the content of a person's character that counts the most. May we endeavor to challenge all systems of racial oppression until our diversity is counted as a true blessing. We remember Dr. King's struggle to eradicate poverty. He stood with sanitation workers and near the end of his short life put plans in motion to launch a Poor People's Campaign, which would create a more equitable world for all people. May we strive to create a society where every man and woman can have access to a stable economic life. We remember Dr. King's abhorrence of violence and his moral aversion to war. Remember his stirring words at the Riverside Church in New York City, where he declared his opposition to the Vietnam War. Help us to be peacemakers and give us the courage to enact the vision of the prophet Isaiah, that we would beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks and study war no more. May today's celebration challenge us to do more, to serve more, to love more, and to fight with more courage for what is right. Make us uncomfortable when we are complicit with racial bigotry. Create in us a passion to bring good news to the poor. Transform us so that we will not conform to the patterns of this world, but seek peace within our human family. We pray that, like Dr. King, we may have the courage to live our convictions, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. And should you, gracious Spirit, do these things in our lives, we too will be able to sing free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. This is our prayer in the name of the one who gave Dr. King the power to march toward freedom, the resurrected revolutionary, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Please welcome our MC this morning from WGRZ-TV in Buffalo, Claudine Ewing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special celebration of the person and the philosophy that was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Today's event is coming to you from the Empire State Plaza Convention Center in Albany, with the gracious support from our cable partners. Working together with the New York State Media Services, they make it possible for this very special presentation to be broadcast and streamed live to households all across New York State. On behalf of everyone here, including our viewers, my viewers in Buffalo, New York, we thank you for including us in your holiday celebration. And if you'd like to share your thoughts or your images of this wonderful event, please share through using the social media hashtag NYSMLK. This year marks a very sad milestone in our remembrance of Dr. King. April 4th, 2018 will be the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination at the Memphis Lorraine Hotel in Tennessee. Please join me now in a moment of silence as we remember this day. Thank you. After Dr. King's death, his wife, Coretta Scott King, founded the King Center for Nonviolent Social Change to keep his work alive. And so 2018 is also the 50th anniversary of the founding of the King Center in Atlanta, Georgia. This year, the King Center is encouraging a year of empowerment designed to engage youth, students, families, faith communities. Today, we will be inspired by this year's national theme, Together We Win with Love for Humanity. Dr. King said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. And now let's turn to our first performers this morning, performing Seasons of Love from the musical Rent. Please welcome to the stage, Staging Youth's Future, Incorporated.
Would you please welcome lifetime Albany resident and acting commissioner of the Department of Civil Service, Lola Brabham.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure to be with you this morning to bring remarks from the governor of the great state of New York, our governor, Andrew Cuomo. Today marks the 89th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth. We pause to reflect upon his life and accomplishments and to consider this year's theme, Together We Win with Love for Humanity. Now more than ever, we find reasons to contemplate the love for human beings that Dr. King so well exemplified, and to understand that as a peace-loving society, we are strengthened by our diversity. I challenge each of us to realize that leaning on Dr. King's words keeps him alive, but daring to dream our own dream keeps us alive. Let us reclaim our basic right to dream. This is what Dr. King continues to teach us, that neither law nor layperson may strip our right to dream. Taking a risk for humanity means dreaming of a future no one else can see. Who in this room today has a dream no one else can conjure? Only you can share it. Only you can manifest it. We need you now more than ever. It is also fitting that we honor the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's death. But when the whole world knows your word, carries your dream, and leans on your wisdom for their moral sustenance, you simply cannot die. We celebrate this day because we know the truth, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. lives because we are here. Ashe, and so it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Spectrum News, Jody Kenny.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be back once again. It is a true honor to be here celebrating with you year after year. So thank you so much for having me. The group consisting of mother, father, and child is the main educational agency of mankind. Dr. King said that. And Dr. King really had a strong sense of, obviously, love, humanity, and family. And he believed in the importance of teaching others by example. His words continue to inspire others to live their lives with humility and also love. His life, his love, and his enduring message, that continues through all of us.
Martin Luther King Jr. is remembered today as a leader, an author, a statesman, a Nobel Prize winner, a catalyst for the civil rights movement. But first and foremost, he was a family man who always found time for his children. As an author, he drew inspiration from Gandhi. As a preacher, he drew strength from God. Through the eyes of his children, he saw a brighter future. As he was fighting the battle for civil rights, his house was bombed. He was arrested and jailed. He spent countless hours away from home. It was during these times that he most drew strength and support from his family. King moved a mighty nation, inspired millions of people, and touched our hearts. What we need to remember is that he always found his way home. For Martin Luther King Jr. was a man.
Good morning. My name is Grace Wong. I'm the interim provost of the State University of New York system. And it's with great pride this morning that I introduce our next performance that will be presented by the SUNY Schenectady County Community College Jazz Ensemble. The American dream is Dr. King's dream, that this nation can provide opportunity to all those who want a better life. And the public higher education is an unparalleled vehicle to realize this dream of upward social and economic mobility. At SUNY, we see this through our commitment to excellence, to the broadest possible access, and through initiatives such as the Educational Opportunity Program that expand this American dream to many. This is what SUNY aims to be, a vessel of hope and advancement for everyone who commits themselves to attaining a high-quality higher education. We see this embodied at Schenectady Community College, also known as SUNY SCCC, which provides its students an affordable, high-quality education and a cultural experience that celebrates individuality, diversity, creativity, applied learning, and also the service to our society. SUNY SCCC is an accredited institutional member of the National Association of Schools of Music and also a member of the New York State Association of College Music Programs. Graduates of the School of Music can be found pursuing successful careers in all facets of profession, from performing to teaching. The SUNY SCCC Jazz Ensemble performs classic and contemporary scores for big band. In spring 2016, they received an Outstanding Performance Award in the annual Downbeat Awards competition, honoring excellence in jazz, blues, and beyond. As their tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today, the Jazz Ensemble will perform two celebratory pieces, 7 Steps to Heaven by Miles Davis and La Fiesta by Chick Corea. And now, ladies and gentlemen, under the artistic and creative directorship of Dr. William Mackley, please welcome SUNY SCCC Jazz Ensemble.
Would you please welcome from WNYT TV in Albany, New York, news anchor Benita Zahn.
Good morning, everybody, and what a delight to be here with all of you once again and to celebrate. And were they fabulous? Spectacular. So I think they probably deserve social media shout out, and as you do that, remember the hashtag today is hashtag NYSMLK. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today. Dr. Wintley Phipps has been the featured speaker and performer for many notable occasions around the world. He has performed for Presidents Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, William Jefferson, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama. By special request of Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phipps delivered an inspirational address and prayer for the opening of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. In 1998, Dr. Phipps founded the U.S. Dream Academy, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing a values-based interactive education targeting children and at-risk youth through community family learning centers. Dr. Phipps says, the most important part of our program is really the caring, loving adults who surround them. And now it is my great privilege to introduce our keynote speaker today, Dr. Wintley Phipps.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. I believe that someone in that great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. I believe that someone in that great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know I Thank you. Good morning. At the age of 14 and a half years old, I woke up one morning talking like this. And it really messed up my father, if you can imagine your 14-year-old saying, "Hey, Dad, how you doing this morning?" For the past 20 years, I have been the president of the U.S. Dream Academy, an organization that provides tutoring and mentoring to children of prisoners and children falling behind in school. Did you know that by the age of 30, approximately 60% of all black boys in this state who do not graduate from high school will be in prison by the age of 30? And too many of the children who end up in prison come from the children of prisoners. So if you want to make a strategic difference for good in this state, in this great state, help the children whose parents are incarcerated. For 20 years, I've been blessed with the help of some extraordinary philanthropists who supported us in this work. As a matter of fact, one of them, I was singing in Baltimore, Maryland, 37 years ago, and I came down off the platform and I felt a tap on my shoulder. The lady said, "Excuse me, sir, I just heard you sing and I feel like I can talk to you. Do you have time to talk to me?" I said, "Sure." So she came by our home, we talked and prayed, and after praying with her, I looked at her and I said, "You know, before you go, I don't know why, but God has impressed me to tell you He's going to bless you and give you an opportunity to speak to millions of people." She said, "No, you think God would do that for me?" And it was Oprah Winfrey. And that's how we met. And one day I was talking to her, I said, "Girl, when God impressed me, you'd be speaking to millions of people. I didn't think it was going to be every day." But I'm so honored to be here this morning. We have come to celebrate the life and legacy of one to whom we all owe so much, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There would be no Oprah without Dr. King. There'd be no Barack Obama without Dr. King. And so many of you here today, you too are unsung heroes of the civil rights movement to whom we owe a debt of gratitude. I want to take a moment and ask anyone here today who has marched and who marched in the civil rights marches of the 60s, will you please stand just for a moment? If you marched in the 60s in the civil rights movement, will you stand? Look at this dear lady over here, and we've got folks in different, bless you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, we honor our veterans, and these are veterans of the struggle. Now, I was not old enough to march in the 60s, but I'm humbled to be able to say that I have met and sung for many of the heroines and heroes who marched for civil rights during those dark and difficult days. I had the pleasure of serenading Rosa Parks on her 77th birthday at Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. On several occasions, I sang for Dr. Dorothy Height, who stood arm's length from Dr. King as he gave his "I Have a Dream" speech. I was able to sing over the bedside of Ralph Abernathy songs of encouragement while he was recovering from a stroke. I was blessed to stand with Jesse Jackson in South Africa to witness the release of Nelson Mandela. I was in that crowd. I've sung for John Lewis and Ambassador Andrew Young, Miss Myrlie Evers, the widow of the slain civil rights leader Medgar Evers. I was also blessed to sing at the White House for the Little Rock Nine when they received the Congressional Gold Medal. Those 9 brave black teenagers who faced torment and abuse integrating Little Rock Central High School. But perhaps one of my most enduring memories will always be sitting in counsel and friendship with Mrs. Coretta Scott King. I got to hear Mrs. King tell me and my wife personally of how she and Dr. King met and fell in love. She told us what it was like when he took her out on their first date. She said to us that Dr. King was always a man on a mission, and he always knew what he wanted. She said on their first date, Dr. King said to her, "I hope it's okay with you, but one day you're going to be my wife." Now, don't you try that. It worked for Dr. King, but it doesn't work for everybody. But just for a moment, come with me back to the year 1963. It was a pivotal year in the civil rights struggle. In 1963, whites and blacks were marching and dying together, seeking to break the back of hatred and injustice. In April of '63, Dr. King wrote his historic letter from the Birmingham jail. In May of '63, newspapers around the world were carrying headlines reporting on the constant clashes between demonstrators and police, dogs and fire hoses, tear gas. All these were familiar scenes on the nightly television news. Students were being beaten at lunch counters. And then the many mass demonstrations culminated in an epic march on Washington, August 28 of 1963. That day, 250,000 people of all races and all ethnic backgrounds waited in the sweltering August heat to hear the voice of America's prophet of nonviolence, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He stepped up to the podium on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and delivered what would go down in history as one of the greatest appeals to the conscience of any nation. With consummate eloquence, Dr. King challenged the nation to live out what he saw as God's dream for America. And that dream, said Dr. King, was a dream of brotherhood. In that speech, Dr. King said, "Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood." And what most people don't know about that speech is that Dr. King had prepared a speech that didn't have his "I have a dream" message in it. He said he took it out because he didn't think he would have enough time. But near the end of his prepared speech, from off to the side, the gospel singer Mahalia Jackson shouted out, "Tell him about the dream, Martin. Tell him about the dream." And then in one of those God moments, Dr. King said, "Something came over me," and he broke out with his majestic rhetorical flourishes. "I have a dream." It is probably one of the most powerful speeches ever made in the history of the earth. Dr. King said, "I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. And that one day we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood." Dr. King's dream for America was a dream of brotherhood, and today, more than ever, America needs Dr. King's dream of brotherhood. And we who have gathered here today at the capital of this great state, we've come to say we will not allow Dr. King's dream of brotherhood to die. We have come to say that we understand we can only build a neighborhood if we become a brotherhood. We've come to say we will not allow this dream to die. America is the most diverse nation on the face of the earth. And frankly, we do not have a choice. Brotherhood is not optional for us. As Dr. King once said, we must learn to live together as brothers or we will perish as fools. This is the great challenge facing America. And Dr. King was trying to teach us that whether we be Jew or Gentile, Protestant or Catholic, Muslim or Sikh, we are linked in a common brotherhood. He was trying to teach us that whether red or yellow, black or white, all are precious in God's sight. Today we need his dream of brotherhood to sweep over the landscape of this great state and over our nation. His dream of brotherhood is not only the American way. For America, it is the only way. To live out Dr. King's dream, we must embrace three principles. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And finally, as Dr. King said, love your enemy. He didn't say like your enemy. He said love your enemy. We must accept each other, celebrate each other's differences. We are up to this challenge as Americans. How many of you believe that? As I close, there's a song that is a favorite of Dr. King's. I'm going to ask if they will run the track for me today. The melody is the melody of an African sorrow chant. Listen to the message in the song. The words are the words of a man by the name of John Newton. Before he became a Christian, he used to be the captain of a slave ship. Listen to this poignant melody, a slave melody, a slave captain's lyrics and words. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Many days toils and snares I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Hallelujah, hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, amen.
Once again, please welcome Jody Kenny.
Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps. Wasn't that amazing? Ah! It never ceases to amaze me. Every time I come here year after year, there's something that just gives me goosebumps and makes me so proud to be a part of this event, and I'm so excited that we're all here to witness that. On Christmas Eve, 1967, Dr. King, he stood at his pulpit to address the congregation, and he said a few things. He said, "In order to achieve peace on earth, we must develop a world perspective, a vision for the entire planet. As nations, as individuals, we are interdependent." And then with one sentence, he kind of brought all of those things together as one. And he said, what it really boils down to is this, that all life is interrelated. That global message expressed on Christmas Eve over 50 years ago lives through SUNY Stony Brook's Global Innovation Project, and giving students at the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences a chance to travel. They get to travel to Kenya, and they use their extraordinary minds to do some amazing things there. They create and innovate engineering designs for the needs of a developing world.
It only took them about 2 words to convince me that, okay, I really wanted to do this.
Because of this trip, in the future I probably would end up doing something really similarly humanitarian.
How many times can as students have the opportunity to go to a part of the world where you can, on a daily basis, interact with people that live with less than $500 a year. This is why the partnership between the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences and the Turkana Basing Institute is providing a unique opportunity for us to start programs that directly engage students and enable them to have a unique cultural experience.
In Kenya, there's too much fluoride in the water, and when there's too much fluoride in the water, it can cause bone deformities, it can cause severe dental fluorosis. So my idea was to use bones to take the fluoride out. This is too thin, right?
Yeah, it's a little too thin.
Bone charcoal has a very good way of removing fluoride from the water. And there's a lot of bones in Kenya. The people there are hunter-gatherers, so they herd a lot of sheep and goats. And since they have a lot of sheep and goats, there's a lot of bones. We created some bone charcoal there ourselves, and then we tested it, and our tests provided significant results for us. And so we presented them to the local people, we presented it to a local representative. The fact that this is such a viable solution for them made them very, very excited.
The main problem at the illiterate community that I was focusing on was the fact that the solar panels that they had at the local school and the local clinic were non-functioning. They had no energy, so they had no lights. If a woman wanted to give labor at night, the staff had to use flashlights in their mouth to help deliver the baby. That was pretty difficult. So pretty much everything that was after sunlight, it became a problem for the community, and this was going on for a long time. So what we decided to do was to mend this equipment. I was climbing roofs and at one point fixing one of the solar panels with another friend from Kenya, and we did it. In the end, the local staff and the local students, they were very happy about the outcome. They now have energy. They now have lights for any time at night, and the local school now has power outlets. The other thing that I myself did for fun was actually dancing with the kids. And I was singing the song like Baila tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, and the kids just started like laughing, and they started like imitating it. And then for the entire trip, everybody knew me as Macarena.
I knew from a while ago that I always wanted to do something that would make a change in the world. And I just never knew how to do it. And once I went onto this trip, I found that, making a change is a lot easier than you think.
This is actually something that I really want to dedicate my life to.
As cliche as it sounds, it's a lifetime experience.
On August 28, 1963, 55 years ago this year, one of Dr. King's most famous acts as a civil rights leader occurred. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was the largest political rally ever seen in the United States, with between 200 and 300,000 participants. When he addressed what he called the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation, he would inadvertently set off a worldwide movement of racial emancipation. Marches have a long tradition in the civil rights movement. It's a way to show our solidarity in having the courage to believe in hope, love, and humanity for our future. For those of you in our live audience, we hope you will join us for our Civil Rights March directly after our program today. Bundle up. And now, please join me in welcoming our next group of performers, Green Tech Charter School.
never change loyalty. Pen is a gun, mine is a clip. When I none of this, then I wouldn't exist. Thank you for green, cause they helping me up. Until I'm on stage with my cap thrown up. If I had 90, she pointed up. They gon' hate, but don't sleep on us. Unexpected, man, you know what this is. Helping the team as long as I live.
Wasn't that wonderful? It was bringing back my marching band days. I was like, yes, sir, I'm ready. That was so amazing. And if you were impressed by that, just keep the energy flowing. It's about to get even better. I am so excited about our next performer. Okay, Here we go. Our next performer started her career on Broadway in roles including in shows Your Arms Too Short to Box with God and Dreamgirls. Over her decades-long career, she has been a performer, a recording artist, an actor, has many accolades under her belt, including a Tony and multiple Grammy Awards. And there are really not enough words to say about her. Amazing performer. We really don't even need to give her an introduction, but we have to. We have to just celebrate her one more time. And she's accompanied by the Dr. King Community Choir and Ensemble under the direction of Marcel Johnson. It is my honor and privilege to welcome to the stage award-winning recording artist, Jennifer Holliday.
you so much. Thank you so much. Come on, put your hands together. I know y'all thankful, right? Come on. Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away. The economy is down. People can't get enough pay. As for me, all I can say, I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Folks without homes, people living in the street, the drug habit, some say it's just giving. Muggers and robbers, no place seems to be safe, but he's been my protection every step of the way. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, it could have been me. I'm done with no food and no clothes, all alone, without a friend. I'm just another number with a tragic end, but you didn't see fit to let none of these things be. And by your grace, you keep on keeping me. I want to say thank you, Lord. Yeah. I'm done with no food and no clothes. I could have been all alone without a friend, or just another number with a tragic end. But you didn't see fit to let none of these things be. And by your grace, you keep on. I want to thank you for your love, yeah, I do, yeah. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your power, protecting me every hour. Yeah, your power. Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
I don't think wow is enough. Let's give her another round of applause. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What an absolutely wonderful performance. And right now, I'd like to bring up Pastor Henry Kem for the benediction.
As we go from this place, let us go embracing the legacy and the dream of Dr. King. In a time and a place where forces seek to divide and sow fear, uncertainty, and evil. Let us go bringing the light that this celebration embodies. Let us live out the dream that Dr. Kim's ministry showed so clearly to us. Let's call on our Father. O wonderful Master and Creator of all things, give us the strength and courage to walk humbly with you in justice and in the light into this broken world. Amen.